Today we are finally finishing out our full set of the original Mirrodin. Let's take a look. What is going on, everybody? And yes, this is not a dream. We are finally back with the collection update series. I know it's been a while. I do apologize, guys. As you all know, I've been out of town like crazy during the month of September, but I have still been picking up a handful of cards, and I could not be more excited to share those with you guys today. Now, as teased in the intro, we are going to be completing our full Mirrodin set. OG Mirrodin, what a crazy set that was. We've got the last card we need for that set today that we are going to look at, along with 11 other amazing cards. Now, as always, guys, I invite you to come and collect with me. We are going to have some fun today. We are really going to enjoy looking at some really powerful cards, some really exciting, both new and old cards, but I want to share the collection experience with all of you. And to do that, I have a little bit of an idea. I just want to try it out. So as you guys probably know by now, when it comes to the actual collection binder, most of these cards are kind of chosen at random. I just sort of go to Scryfall, hit random until I find a card that I really like, and I add it to the binder. But I want to change up that formula a little bit and involve you guys a little bit more. So here is what I am proposing. I want you guys to help pick the next few cards that we're going to be using in the binder update series. So how do we do that? Well, I would like for you all to set some criteria for me. It could be has to be an artifact card, must be a legendary creature, must be an enchantment, whatever you see fit. I would like you to pick up to 3 criteria. It doesn't have to be all 3, but up to 3 criteria. Leave it in the comment section below. And then in the upcoming weeks, I will be picking out cards that fit those criteria, add them to the binder, and give you guys a shout out for helping me choose the cards that we're gonna add to the latter half of this binder, because we are almost 50% of the way through. With that in mind though, guys, we're gonna jump right into the 12 cards that we have picked up for this week's collection update. I cannot wait to show you guys what we've got. All right, everybody, and here is our very first card. It is a promo version of Avatar of Hope. Beautiful foiling. It even has, I don't know if you can see this little gold stamp for May, 27th of May in 2000, let's see, literally 2000, back in Prophecy. Definitely a really old classic card. As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of promos. This really just fit the bill for me. It popped up, and I love the old school promos where it was kind of a pre-release promo where you had the actual date there. They don't really do that as often on the border anymore. A lot of times they throw it elsewhere, but I love these old ones. I feel like they're really, really special. They're just something really, nostalgic about it, so to speak. I did not play in pre-releases at the time. I didn't do any of that stuff. I don't even really know what pre-release looked like, back in the day. But I do know this card. I've seen this card a handful of times. I've actually owned a couple copies, but never this version. And so for me, I was just really excited to pick it up. It's a really special card in my opinion. It's a great, beautiful promo. I love angels as always. They're always going to be, a special place in Magic's history for sure. And so this is a very special one. Next up, we're trying out a new little setup here as well. We have a beautiful Path to Exile. Now this is not the foil version, as you guys can see, but it does feature the amazing artwork. This artwork is stunning. Literally the most beautiful Path to Exile artwork I think that has ever existed. I've actually done a digital altar of this at one point and really, really got to pick apart some of the detail in this image. Stunning. Truly, truly stunning. It's like a stained glass piece of artwork. It's amazing. And so for me, this was just a really nice pickup. I do own the foil version, the promo of this, but I thought it'd be really nice to pick this one up as well, just to kind of complete that set a little bit. And truthfully, again, this is one of those cards that's so good in just really any given format that it's available in. We see it a lot in Modern, but truthfully in things like Cube as well. It's a really nice pickup. And it's just a really good catch-all. So I'm really stoked to have it here. I love this artwork. Again, just stunning. Next, guys, a brand new one. So I did open up a couple boxes of Dominaria United. Unfortunately, didn't get to record those because we had a lot of issues trying to record those, which was kind of a bit of a shame. But that being said, we did pull a Liliana of the Veil full art, and I knew I had to include it in the collection update series. This was from the very first box that I opened as well. which just makes it that much more special. We've got some other Dominaria United cards coming along as well, but I knew this one was going to be a really, really special card. This is one of the few cards that I really, really care about from the set due to its actual power level. This card is insane. If you guys haven't played with it before, amazing. Also, Liliana just fits into a lot of different strategies that I happen to love, things like Jund and stuff like that, which we actually had a video on this week, so go check that out. So all that to say, I knew I wanted to pull this card. It's not foil, but it is full art, and I love that. It's an absolutely stunning pickup. The Liliana of the Veil might be one of the most iconic cards in my collection for a handful of reasons. One, I've got quite a number of different versions of Lily, including the box topper from Ultimate Masters, which I think, don't quote me on this, but I believe that is the most expensive version of Liliana of the Veil, barring maybe the original version in foil, but I'm not 100% sure. But still, just a stunning card. I love Lily. She's so good, guys. You gotta love Lily. Next up, we have got an old little, I believe, reserve list card, Casa or Kaisa. I don't know how you say this. I actually own one of these already, but it came up and I was like, yeah, it's a reserve list. I'll pick it up. It's actually been a couple weeks since I picked it up, so if it's not reserve list, I apologize. But all green creatures you control get +1/+1, kind of a basic ability, but a very powerful one. And truthfully, the reason I like this card is the artwork. Look at that artwork, it's stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. I love the old school Alliances artwork, that hand-drawn kind of feel. You don't get a lot of that nowadays. And so, you know, as we saw in Liliana of the Veil, the artwork is amazing, but it's obviously not the same style of artwork. And I like to have that variety in my collection. I love old school artwork. I love new artwork. I'm not necessarily biased towards one, but I do really, really love this one. I just think it's such a great frame, such a great compositional piece with the character sort of on that left side and then bringing that artwork into the right. Just, oh, beautiful, beautiful artwork. And just a really cool card as well. All right, so kind of hitting in the middle of Magic's history, Thrun the Last Troll. This is actually one of my favorite green creatures, aside from maybe Venge Vine. Spoilers. Anyway, Thrun the Last Troll is a really, really cool card. Definitely a great card against a lot of the control decks as well. If you guys haven't played a lot of Modern or maybe Cube or anything like that, this is actually a really good one against the control list because it can't be countered and can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Plus, it can be regenerated. So it just kind of does everything you want to keep it on the field and continue that pressure on the opponent. And with that, I just think Thrun just has a really cool backstory as well as artwork as well. Just a really awesome card. It hits that modern era of Magic that is personally my favorite. I love the modern era of Magic. I love the modern format of Magic. When I'm saying modern, I'm literally saying like the modern card frame came into existence and it's like that early era modern that I love. And this is really representative of that to me. Now I know it's a little later on in that modern era, quote unquote, but it's definitely towards the latter half and definitely one of my favorites. And so to me, just a really cool card. Absolutely love Thrun. Really awesome backstory as well. Oh, look, who would have thought? From my second favorite green creature, probably, to my first favorite, probably. Venge Vine is amazing. Venge Vine is one of my favorite cards for a lot of reasons. One, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. The greens and the artwork. Oh, chef's kiss, beautiful. Absolutely love it. Not only that though, it is a recursive threat. And for me, graveyard decks are a really great reason to be in green decks. I love them. I think you get a lot of really awesome stuff out of it. Dredge Vine is one of my favorite builds. I think it's such a fun deck to play. Arguably not for other people, but it is a very fun deck to play. And Venge Vine is really one of the backbone kind of heavy hitting cards in that deck, along with things like Hollow One and stuff like that. So there's a lot of really awesome builds that you can do with Venge Vine, and a little bit of a combo-y feel to the decks that usually play Venge Vine, which I really love. It's just a really cool kind of way to play the game. And it's combo-y, but it's not combo-y in the sense that it's Storm, where it's always going to win on that same turn. Sometimes it can, but it doesn't have to. And so you do get that opportunity to kind of play back and try and actually beat the deck. And so I feel like it's a little A little better maybe than Star. But regardless, I really love Venge Vine, one of my favorite creatures of all time, aside from maybe Elishnorn. And so just a beautiful, beautiful card. All right, moving into multicolor, guys, we have Sterling Grove, the original, I believe, Invasion version. Really awesome card. This is a great addition for enchantment decks. So if you don't know, this basically just makes it really hard to deal with your enchantments. And then you can actually search it, sacrifice it, pay one, sacrifice it, and then search your library for an enchantment of your choice, put it on top of your deck, and actually you get to play that then hopefully later on. So it's not only a protection spell, but it's also a way for you to dig into your deck for whatever you might need. Works great for commander, like toolboxy style decks with the enchantment side of things. And so it's just a really powerful ability. And for only 2 mana, which is kind of insane. It's a really awesome one. I really do love it. The artwork, again, I know I've said this a lot in this episode, but there are so many beautiful pieces of artwork that we're getting to see in this episode. Absolutely love this one, guys. It's really awesome. So I hope you guys do like the enchantment style decks. I think it's a pretty popular one. If you've not played with this card in particular, give it a shot. It's a really good card for those decks. Moving into artifacts, guys, we have Aether Vile, the original Darksteel version. I believe we are very close to finishing the full set of Darksteel as well, but not quite there. Aether Vile definitely helps, though. This is an absolutely ridiculous card. This is, I think, the only time this was printed at Uncommon, and for good reason. This card really is the backbone for a lot of like the creature-heavy decks, the Merfolk decks, the White Weenie decks, things like that you'll see in a lot of Eternal formats, because you get out from under counters. You can actually flash in the creature. You're not casting the creature, so while you might lose a cast trigger, you do get the safe kind of enter the battlefield side of things. And so for that, I think Aether Vile is absolutely stunning. It's a beautiful, beautiful card as well. And just a hugely powerful one. I do have a couple versions of this, but this is actually the first time I've picked up the original Darksteel version, which I'm stoked about. I love having the OG versions of all these cards. And speaking of, I believe the next card, let's see if I'm right. Yes, Chalice of the Void. This was the last card we were missing in Mirrodin, the original Mirrodin set. Finally got to pick it up. Funny enough, I actually, again, have already owned this card, but in different versions. I pulled a foil one out of Masters 25, which was kind of an insane pull, but I've never had the original. This does complete the set, guys. I am so stoked for this. As you guys know, I do like to set collect. I've actually gotten rid of a lot of sets just because they're newer sets and they're not really, to me, not as difficult to get, and so not as, I guess, exciting to collect. But these OG sets, these early modern sets, so to speak, are really, really special in my opinion, because they really shaped a lot of the modern format. And not even just modern. I mean, Chalice of the Void is hitting things like Legacy and Vintage in some cases, because you can literally just shut decks out of the game for a Chalice on 1. And if you have a card like Ancient Tomb or something along those lines that produces extra mana, well, now all of a sudden you do that turn 1, you lock somebody out of the game, and it's kind of hard to fight back. And so Chalice is a really powerful card for a lot of different Eternal formats. Just a really beautiful one as well. And again, featuring that OG artwork, the OG Mirrodin side. We finished it, guys. We finished the set. That's so exciting to me. I do really appreciate the fact that we could get this one done, because it took a lot of time. And so for me, this is a really special moment. You guys might not feel it, but I definitely do. And again, if you guys have like a set that you want to collect, add it to those little conditions. Throw it in there. I will keep to it as best I can. All right, this was the other card we were technically missing out of Mirrodin, which is Extra Planar Lens, another really, really good ramp ability for the Mirrodin set. This allows you to basically add extra land or extra mana to your mana pool. Just a really powerful card. We've seen this a lot in different, a lot of styles of decks. I don't see it in Modern or anything like that too often, but I believe in Commander it is legal, so I'm sure it's great there. This is just a really powerful card. Again, not to me as exciting as Chalice of the Void, I'll just be honest, but I really do like it. And again, between this and Chalice, we are finishing up the set. So to me, this is just a really special moment. We've finally gotten there. We finally finished it. It was an iconic set for me. I started playing kind of back into playing, I guess, after the first bout of selling out and coming back right around that time. And so I do remember picking up the early kind of starter decks. I don't know if you guys remember those. They always release like 4 or 5 starter decks with each set. And I do remember picking up 1 or 2 of those back in the day, like the ATOG set, I believe was one. And it was such a fun little, it was a fun little build. They weren't necessarily great decks, but they were very nostalgic for me, or are nostalgic for me now. And so it's really cool to be able to finish a set that I kind of got back into the game with. So very, very special. And again, a very good card. All right, guys, sorry for the cut there. I had to jump and fix battery on the camera, but we are back with Scroll Rack. This is our last artifact for the day. I absolutely love Scroll Rack. This card is amazing. Really, really good in Storm and Cube and things where you're trying to really dig through the deck and find those singleton hits. And so Scroll Rack really presents a really easy way for you to repeatedly do that as you need to. Granted, it's only 1 per turn, but it's a powerful ability, just being able to kind of churn through your deck as quickly as you'd like. So for me, this is a really special one. I have a couple of different versions of this card, I believe, at least one other version, but I've never had the original. And so for me, this is a bit of a special hit. Just a beautiful card. I love that old school card frame as well. You guys know I'm a big fan of the old school frames. And so this is a perfect include for the collection. I absolutely love it. And finally, guys, our only land is a promo version of Eye of Ugen with that beautiful stamping in the actual text box, as well as that amazing artwork. I really, really love the Eldrazi deck. For those of you who don't know, like Eldrazi Tron is a really fun deck for me. And so Eye of Ugen is a really good include in that because obviously it cheapens up all the cards that you want to play and it gives you an out for finding something else as you need it. So just a really powerful card. I did see this come up as a like random card on Scryfall and I was like, ooh, I didn't even know this version existed, to be brutally honest. It's a relatively new card, but I love the artwork. It was a really cool one, and it caught my eye immediately that I knew I wanted to pick it up, and so I'm glad I did. I think it's a really beautiful card. It's a really stunning artwork there. Oh, that energy field in the center just makes me so happy. So very much love that, guys, but that's gonna wrap up the 12 cards. Let's wrap up the video. All right, guys, that is the next page done in the binder, and we are getting super close to that 50% mark. We'll, of course, have the value and everything up on the screen for you guys. I do want to encourage you, leave a couple parameters in the comment section below, and I want to collect what you guys are kind of telling me to collect. I think it would be kind of a fun idea to try and do that together and truly make it a together feature. So let's see if we can do that. If you've got some parameters that you want to throw down below, leave them in the comment section. Again, up to 3 in any one comment, but you can comment as many times as you'd like. You can add a lot more if you'd like. And so please do leave those down below. I'll start to collect based on those comments, and we'll hopefully have some fun calling out you guys and helping you guys show off what you have helped me collect, if that makes sense. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be a really fun time. So leave some comments down below, guys, and thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast getting back to this. As you know, collecting is really where my heart is at for Magic, and so this is a really special series to me. I really do appreciate the support. But guys, thank you so much again. I will see you hopefully next week with another collection update series.